WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Now, sometimes a whiskey, I have to read about it. Sometimes people tell me about the whiskey. This whiskey, I was influential in its creation. So please take everything I say with a grain of salt. I am not biased. I am biased, I'm not unbiased, sorry. This is from a German distillery called Brigantia, the Whiskey Distillery, and they actually now have something, a box called the Whisky Universe. I'm going to pull out the bottle here, put that over here. Looks just like the Cardew bottle for some reason. And if you take a look at this, Moritz is actually the... this is not artificial intelligence. This is actually, he made this himself. He designed it. And in the box, which is very generic, they use it for all their special bottlings at the moment. Now, inside the box, you have this nice little certificate. Urkunde is the word certificate. And this is a cask that I, with 30 other people, on the 21st of October, 2023, picked out. Now, we were given 3 different casks to try. I forgot. One was champagne. One was, I always forget the third one. One was here the Muscat grape. It's not Muscatel, which is sherry. It's a Muscat, so it's a white wine cask, all right? And it was a full maturation for almost 6 entire years. 2017 to 2023 is what we have here. And we have 250 bottles. I have bottle number 40. This was cask number 1145. There is a whiskey-based number. It is 249815. This sells for $89.90. The question of what should the price be of a single cask, cask strength whiskey from Germany. And yeah. So I think it was the champagne and the Muscatel had basically the same amount of votes, and then it was like, well, we have to have a tiebreaker, and so we handed out the pieces of paper once again, and I bullied 1 or 2 people into actually going for this instead of the other one. And we were at the distillery. We had a whole day together with the vlogger. They spoiled us. They paid for our hotel costs for the night. They did a shuttle bus with us. No, they didn't do a shuttle bus. We had to walk. All right, we walked from the hotel to the distillery in the rain on the way there, on the way back not. And, on the way back, we were actually shuttled back because we were at a restaurant at the end. They paid for our meal in the evening. I didn't even do any type of posting about that. But I did buy the bottle at a normal dealer price as a whiskey shop. And I got the bottle. I don't even think I got a rebate for this one. And I'm doing a video about it because I think German single malt whiskey is at the moment at that beautiful tipping point. 10 years ago, 8 years ago, even 6 years ago, some of the whiskeys that were coming out on the market were 1, 3 years of age, 2, totally young and not even very good. And they were just at the very birth of the industry for whiskey in Germany. Now, there's a learning curve, just like we have the learning curve with a lot of the new distilleries, craft distilleries in America, new distilleries in Ireland. Also in Germany, we had a very steep learning curve. And about 5 years ago, most of the people started understanding cask management is important. Do not mature exclusively in German oak because it just turns into biting on a board of oak. It's not nice. And also don't have such clean cuts as normally the case in Germany with our rest of our schnapps. Yeah, so we have our heads and our tails with the heart, and the heart is often in Germany very, 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 very clean. And we've had to teach the people in whiskey to open up the hearts a little bit, especially more towards the tails. Don't go too much in the tails, don't go too much in the hearts, but actually take a little bit more of both there and make a whiskey that is something we can enjoy that's been matured in wood for 6, 8, maybe even 10 years. And these are things we've learned over the last 5 years. And for me, Brigantia is one of these places that I've learned the quickest. And it was a pleasure. I organized the vlogger trip down there to have the people see what they're doing, how they're doing that, and how they're making whiskey in a very, very, very good way. When we went in the warehouse and did the tasting with the 3 different casks, that feeling we had as if you were in a Scottish warehouse, as if you were in a Kentucky warehouse in winter. It was October. It was raining outside. It was 8 degrees, 48 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 degrees Celsius. And it was great. And it was good to smell and to see the oak and to taste it directly from the cask and see what they've created there. And it's just great. We did a barrel pick. Yay! And now it's there. So now just to give us a little bit of the details. All right. So 2017. Now it's almost 7 years ago. They distilled this. They put it into that Muscat grape cask. They let it sit there. And then in October 2023, someone tried it and was like, oh, this might even be good enough for a special store pick, a special bottling just for this meetup on that day. And we tried it and we decided yes. And so, okay, this cask was earmarked. And then between October and then at the end of November, it was finally bottled. It took about 6 weeks for them to bottle it, to always get this here. Okay. Yes, and then they released it in February. So between bottling, there was Christmas time, and then they released it basically at the beginning of February. And now we have May 2024. And this bottling was submitted to a blind jury. It's called the German Whiskey Award. I would have put an S on there, but that's all right. The German Whiskey Award. And it received a silver medal. So it wasn't gold. There were a couple of other products that were a little bit better, but it was a silver medal. So not just we, but a jury of, I think, 12, it might have been 14, let's say 12 people blindly tasted this and found this at least in the top third of the products that they tasted from that category. And I was like, wow, I feel confirmed. I feel happy. And the distillery were just over the moon. I mean, they really were like, oh, Jason, they were the first ones in contact. Jason, look, we got silver for because I knew I was the one that pushed the tipping point, that I was the one that went, hey, we actually had a tie vote. And then the second voting round, I was the person, I pushed 2 or 3 people, twisted their elbow and said, hey, come on, this is better. You believe me? I'm not sure. Believe me. I'm not. Believe me. Okay, Jason. And I made this happen. And so it makes me a little happy, as you can see. Now, on the nose, what I get here is I get a deep, rich fruitiness. But there's a little bit of tannins and there's a little bit of over-ripeness of the fruitiness. All right. I don't know if you've had a wine that's almost, I'm going to say almost on the point of tipping, of going bad. It's not bad, but it's no longer that fresh, vibrant, it has raisiny type of moments in here. I like the nose. I really do like the nose. Very, very nice. Now, the 5.6%, it is a tad hot. And this tastes so much better with a little bit of water. All right, so without the water, it's more of a C+. I'd go for a C+ because, hey, I like this whiskey. With water, it's a B-. It really gets good with water. So let's try it first without the water. I'm not going to compare it to anything. This is the product I'm talking about today. I did buy this bottle. I did a bottle share with it. I still have about 20 CLs left for me and for whoever wants to come over. Maybe you can pour something. I get star fruit. I get pomegranate. Have you had pomegranate juice? I get that here. Some raisins. It's a little bit of a wine moment. Have you had gummy bears, the white and the yellow ones? Put them together, a little bit like this. Nice. Now, one last sip, and then we're going to come to the elephant in the room, at least for me. Mm. Mm. Take it down to about 52%, maybe even 50%. Now, if I tried this blind, and I did not know what I'm tasting, it could be a whiskey from any place in the world. I would go, okay, it's not American. Okay, it might be like a Glencadam that they put into a very heavily white wine cask. It's very cask driven. It's not spirit driven, it's cask driven. And there's a little bit of heat there, and it's not that old. Is it 8 years? Maybe. So I would put this in Scotland, 8 years old, in a white wine cask. That's what I would do if I were blind. I would not think it's in the first impression that it's German whiskey. Some people say German whiskey has a certain taste and a little bit young and so on. No, this is different. This is good. Brigantia actually won gold for being the best distillery in Germany at the moment. Good job. Boys and girls down there, you are doing great work. The price, €89.90, only to be had at the distillery or through their online shop. No problem with that, but €89.90 for a 6-year-old product. Now, I did the math, 250 bottles, that's $22,000 revenue out of one single, in America, one single cask. Europe, America. That's a lot of money. They did not pay 22,000 euros for the alcohol excise tax, for the VAT. They did not pay that for the cask. They did not pay it for the new make that went in there. Now, if you add in labor costs of employing people, building a new distillery, paying off that, and so on, I guess you're going to get about half of that. All right, so that was actually a fairly good packaging, bottling, and all that. So, but even if you paid about 11,000 euros for everything you need to for casks, new make, your percentage, if you make 1,000 casks a year, you take the amount of people you employ then for in the distillery and in sales, divide that by that. Take a look at your distillery, what did you invest in that? Divide it by 20 years, put that on there, how many casks you make a year. I did a depreciation over 20 years. Some people want to have it in recuperated, amortized within 10, but let's just say 20 years. You're going to get a figure that's about half of that. So that's okay. I just recently did a bottle share, which means I did a cask share, which meant I bought a cask at a distillery in Germany. I let it sit for 6 years. I finished it in a Pinot Noir cask that I bought. I paid for them to actually refill, to re-rack the cask. I paid for the bottles. I paid for the labels. I paid for everything else, bottling costs, transport costs, VAT, alcohol excise tax. I paid for everything. It was cask strength. I got also about 200. I got 228. They had 250 out of their cask. My bottle cost me, the person who bought the cask, 29 euros. Clean. Everything paid for it. I sold the bottles for 49 euros. So I earned 20 euros per bottle, which I think is an okay return on investment. All right. Other people said I should have been taking 79 to 80. And it's like, wait, that's triple the price. And that's really my question of the day. How much should a single cask strength, craft whiskey cost? Now, the craft whiskey could be from Ireland, could be from the US, it could be from Asia or continental Europe. I have the feeling, and I'm giving this a D plus for value for money, I have the feeling that the prices of European whiskeys, cask strength, single barrel, distillery only, let's call them, are a little bit high. Had they said 69 euros, I would have went, well, all right. Had they said 79, it's like, well, that's a little bit too much. But 89, and then they went up to 99, I would have, wow, guys. There's basically one rule at the moment in German whiskey over here for their distillery exclusive single barrel cask strength. Don't go over the €100 mark. That's the limit. Most people, They just go, oh, people don't buy over 100 at the moment. All right, there are very, very few distilleries that can put a bottle out there over 100 euros and it'll be sold out. And so what I think some distilleries do at the moment is, okay, how far away can we get from the 89 without, let's go, how far can we get away from the 100, 89? Oh, that's good, the 89, perfect, boom. And that's the price. And I'm not really sure about the price. All right, so that's just me at the moment. Now I could go over there and try to find me some BTAC in the States, and I'm going to pay much more for it. It's not even single barrel. It is cask strength. If I go over and find a Blanton single barrel, I'm going to pay almost double the price of what I paid for this. And so it's all a little bit relative to what you're willing to pay. So, question to you. What should a single barrel cask strength, barrel proof whiskey from a craft distillery that makes under 5,000 barrels a year, let's say that, what should they be? What should they take? What should be the price? Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing. I'm very proud of this bottle. I'm very thankful that we have this bottle out there, and I look forward to doing further barrel picks at other distilleries with other vloggers together. And this is just one of many that will come in the future. See you soon. Bye-bye.